We interrupt the regularly scheduled content of your 136th episode of the Carpe Fide podcast to bring you a very special interview this evening. I am award-winning journalist Kermit the Frog, and tonight with me is the 45th President of the United States of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump!
Thank you, Kermit. Many people get the numbers mixed up, and that's fine. It's exactly what happened in the 2020 election, so
many numbers. I have a lot of questions for you tonight, Mr. President. First of all, I just want to thank you. This is a wonderful opportunity to maybe ask some questions that America is very, very interested in hearing your responses on, and we just don't get much time to hear questions for the everyman. So I appreciate your time tonight.
Well, you're very welcome, Kermit, but if next time you could please send the correspondence by something other than a pig, I would appreciate that.
But that's my wife.
Well, we have a pig in the White House, so I prefer to keep the animals out of it if we could.
Oh, no. I'm going to just bypass that. Mr. President, you're in the middle of a hotly contested, well, maybe not that hotly contested, candidacy here running for the Republican nomination for president this year. And I'm just...
Listen, Kermit, I could win this from prison, okay? That's how easy this is going to be.
I'm concerned you may have to win it from prison, Mr. President. I'm really hoping that perhaps justice would prevail and people would pull their heads from dark places, and maybe this wouldn't happen, but that may be the case. Nonetheless, Mr. President, really, really recent news that I'd love to get your opinion or perhaps your view on from Mar-a-Lago, so to speak. Have you been aware of the slow trickle release of the documents in the Jeffrey Epstein case?
Yes, I am familiar with the case. Very despicable, very heinous acts committed by Mr. Epstein. He was a good man. But he had some proclivities that I think that none of us really should condone. I certainly didn't condone them. I told you all at the time that they were the worst, the most despicable things that anybody could have even thought of. And then that one actress wrote that book about me, and they were also heinous things that she wrote. But those were untrue, and the unfortunate thing about the Epstein case is it seems that these things were true, and that is a crime. It is a crime, like the stolen election.
You were the head of the executive branch of our government, sir, and I was just curious. Maybe you could shed some light. There's a lot of talk that perhaps he's a CIA asset. Are you aware of anything like that maybe came across your desk in security briefings?
Well, if I had picked a better staff, I probably would be able to tell you a little bit more about that. But unfortunately, I was kept in the dark about a lot of things, a lot of dark things. But I wouldn't put it past him. I think that if there's anything that we've learned in the past few years is that these three-letter bureaus and agencies, they're all corrupt, okay? And the first thing that I'm going to do as the 46th, 47th, and 48th President of the United States is to basically... take an eraser to the three letters, okay? All the three letters, every three letter.
Well, I think you'll have a hard time getting all the pedophiles out of those agencies, sir.
It's called a burn pit, Kermit, and burn pits are very effective. They have been for a very long time.
Oh, man. Well, do you have any thoughts on the redacted Jane Doe 107? Some people, I'm not exactly saying anyone particularly, but there are people speculating that perhaps the Jane Doe is Oprah Winfrey.
Well, you see, Kermit, she is a very troubled person, and I think that anybody who listens to her for any amount of time can really understand what I'm trying to say here. But it is possible. It is possible. And honestly, I think maybe some three-letter agencies could look into that. Maybe they could put their time to good use. But if I hear anything, you can trust that I'll be posting it on Truth Social as soon as I can, because the American people, really, it's all about the American people. The American people deserve to know what happened in all of these documents, and especially to Jane Oprah Winfrey.
I see what you did there, Mr. President. I don't know if you...
I am very cunning.
Yeah, well, shrewd as a serpent, sometimes with your tongue. You have a knack for it. Mr. President. Maybe I thought you could use your gifted tongue here to answer this question a little better than Nikki Haley. She recently had a town hall. I don't know if you are aware of this, Mr. President, where she, let's say, stumbled through a question on the reason for the Civil War. And I know I don't want this. Don't take this the wrong way, Mr. President. Let's try not to let this degrade into some sort of name calling fest, please. But if you could maybe, answer to the people, why do you think the Civil War started?
Well, first, I want to respond by saying I don't know what Nikki Haley uses her tongue for, but it is not for smooth political discourse. Okay? You need a president who can go overseas to Xi Jinping and tell him exactly where he's going to go and exactly what he's going to do. And it's not going to be Taiwan, okay? It's not going to be Taiwan.
I maybe just a quick side question. Didn't you choose Nikki Haley to be the representative to the United Nations for the United States of America?
Well, I think that sometimes people have a prime time, obviously, and then they kind of fall off. I mean, just look at Joe Biden. He used to be able to speak in complete sentences, but now he's got someone holding him up like a puppet.
I don't want to.
I don't want you to take any offense to that,
well,
Kermit.
I
was just using a very common analogy there.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, sir. Back to the question. Why do you think the Civil War started?
I think that there are a lot of people that could give you a lot of different answers on this, Kermit. Some people say it was economical. Other people say it was about government overreach. But listen, this was about slaves and whether or not it was right for people to own them, okay? And it's not okay for people to own slaves. You need to pay people for what the work that they're doing, okay? Like think about someone like Hillary Clinton, who got paid a bunch of money for deleting those emails and a bunch of money for the dossier. Do you remember the dossier, Kermit?
How could I forget?
How could anybody forget? And that Nikki Haley didn't talk about the dossier while she's answering this question is beyond me.
I don't know how the dossier on Oppo research on you has anything to do with the Civil War.
But Nikki Haley is a rhino, and we all know it. She's not for the people. She's for herself.
You know, Mr. President, you may be right. And
it's ironic because did you see the jeans she was wearing? She wasn't doing herself any favors with those jeans.
Well, she is a mom. They were kind of what the kids might call mom jeans.
They were very much mom jeans, Kermit. We need a president who is above the mom jeans. Have you seen Melania recently? Have you seen the types of jeans she wears? She doesn't wear jeans. Okay, you can't wear jeans out in public like that anymore.
No, Melania is a very classy woman. You're absolutely right.
Your pig is wonderful as well.
Thank you, Mr. President. Got me a little choked up. Well, I certainly agree with your assessment of the reasoning for the Civil War, sir. And it was certainly about the fact that states did not have the right to allow people to be owned. And they were not property, and you did a great job, sir. Much better than Miss Haley did.
I agree with you, Kermit. That's why I said those things that I said.
All right. On to another interesting cultural news. And since you will be governing the entire United States, presidenting or such of the like, this story comes in from Seattle, Washington. There is a anonymous donor who has put up $500,000, which it's not a lot of money. Maybe
that is a very insignificant amount of money.
Well, I mean, it is for a
It is smaller than a small loan.
I understand, but it's for a playground. That seems like a pretty good playground. If I were to assess a $500,000 playground sounds pretty great.
I mean, my children have grown up on $500,000 playgrounds. They are quite nice. I recommend them to anybody, really.
Oh my! Well, this anonymous donor putting up this money. There was a public park, and he went to the parks department, and he offered them this money for a playground because there wasn't even a playground for the children within a 15-minute walk of the neighborhood.
It's probably true. Did you see what Antifa did with that city?
The absolute travesty, sir.
Some might even say it was more like an insurrection. I don't know.
No, the insurrection topic is definitely not where we're headed here. The problem, sir, was that there was a big upcry from the LGBTQ+.
Was it an insurrection?
No, sir. No.
Okay.
At the local ordinance meeting, there was a cry from the LGBTQIA plus community. Apparently, there's a beach, a nudist beach that is frequented by members of the LGBTQIA plus community, and they were very upset because, well, if the playground's built there, the beach would have to be not nudist anymore. I was just curious, what do you think about this particular news story? Is there anything that you would have to say? Are you maybe more pro playground, or are you more pro adult playground?
Well, you see, Kermit, here's the problem. I understand that it doesn't really affect someone who doesn't wear clothes very often, like yourself.
My skin is very, very moist.
Would you like a tissue, Kermit? Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, that's just why the clothes would be they're very adherent and restricting because of the moisture.
Yes, you got to go big with the clothes.
You mean like a little oversized, maybe more comfortable?
They don't stick as much.
Mm.
Anyway, so what were we talking about? We were talking about the nudist beach and the LGBT.
Maybe which side of the conversation you might weigh in on there? More pro playground or more pro adult playground, really?
Well, you see, I believe that adults should be tempered. They should be about business. Okay, adults shouldn't have playtime. Okay, we're not children. Okay, there's a lot wrong with an adult that thinks that they're a child. And many people accuse me of this, and I say, look, children don't golf, okay? Children don't play golf. They think it's boring.
My nephew golfs.
He's probably very old for your nephew.
Nope, he's like 10. But
well, you know what they say.
I don't know what they say.
It's not easy on the green.
It's not easy being green.
Anyway,
yes.
I would side, and you know what? I would very much like Jesus. Okay, I would side with the children, right? I would say let the children come play on their park. Like I said, my children grew up on $500,000, $750,000 parks, and look how they turned out. They've got more Instagram followers than you do, Kermit.
Whoa. Well, the social media team is working on it. I don't think that's relevant, but yeah, I understand. You're a family man, and you would think that the families should have be afforded more opportunities than maybe. I mean, I've heard that it is a law in Washington State that you can pretty much be nude anywhere. So,
Kermit, I feel like you would know.
I mean, I'm always nude, sir.
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, let's how about another cultural question? Are you up for it, Mr. President? I don't want to take too much of your time.
Well, Kermit, as we've already discussed, I'm the one helping your ratings. You're not the other way around. But yes, I do have some times for some more questions here.
So grateful that this interview was scheduled. I used to interview princesses.
You're very welcome.
Anyway,
Kermit.
Are you familiar with the cultural term dink?
Yes. I'm so glad you brought this up because I love dinks. Okay? Every time I go to the golf course and I hear that little dink of the ball going into the hole, it is like music to my ears. It is better than winning the presidency.
I'm really starting to think they didn't pass you any of these questions. No, sir. Dink is an acronym.
It's an aneurysm. What are you talking about, Kermit? Are you okay? Do you need a doctor?
Sir.
I have the best doctors. Okay.
Okay. Well, it's an acronym, sir. D-I-N-K.
I still have some ivermectin left if you need any of that.
No, I'm not taking your horse tranquilizer stuff, sir. Okay?
Well,
I'm
you
not
should.
doing it.
It would help your skin clear up.
Besides, Joe Rogan gave me a lot of it anyway. I'm going to be fine. Listen. Dink.
Maybe give some to the pig, too.
Look, Mr. President, can we just get through the interview, please? Please. D-I-N-K. DINK is an acronym, sir. Now, what it stands for is dual income, no kids. DINK. Now, Mr. President.
Thank you for explaining that. I would never have known.
I was really hoping maybe you'd Google it, but DINK, sir, is going to be a part of the people that you have to govern. So it's a big movement for people from the 20s to 30s now to choose not to have families because they find it to be expensive and they want to have money to spend on themselves. Now, as the president, you also have children. I thought maybe, how would you, what are your feelings about the dink community?
Well, I feel that if perhaps they were given maybe a small loan of about $1 million, it would probably be very beneficial for these dinks to get their acts together, because really they need to think about more than just the economy all the time. And look, I know that they will be voting for me. These dinks love me. You understand? Because the dinks know that when I am elected president for the third time in a row, that the economy it will boom. I mean, don't go to the White House Instagram page and look at their graphs. Their graphs, they're terrible graphs. I don't think that anybody went to any sort of college, the people that make these graphs, okay? You can't understand these graphs at all. At all. But what the dinks know is that when they elect a real American president, one who can speak, one who can be awake, okay? One who can walk upstairs, first and foremost, okay? They know that the price of their Christmas turkey will go down. They know that the price of their gas will go down. And they know that perhaps they might feel some more secure about raising children. But really, the dinks, they need to understand the children are their inheritance. Do you understand this? Have you read the Bible? It's in the Bible.
Oh, my sir, yeah, absolutely.
Kermit, you should read the Bible. I don't know how you read with your eyes on two sides of your head, but you should read the Bible.
Sir, I've been reading off of cards for years. I think I can handle reading.
Very good. So you should read the Bible. And the children are the inheritance. It's not about the money that the federal government stole from you during the Biden administration. It's not about that money. It's about the longevity. I mean, just look at my sons. Look at my son, Donald. He's amazing. Have you seen? He's got more Instagram followers than you do, Kermit. And look,
Mr. President,
he's great.
Yeah, no, I get it, but the Instagram thing is getting a little hurtful. Maybe, I don't know. I do things, okay.
Kermit,
all right.
It's okay. Your count will be up after this interview. It's fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're pro dink. Do you think that maybe
I don't think dinks stink? Okay. That's not what I'm trying to say at all.
Absolutely. I think loud and clear, sir. My question is, do you think maybe you can even stimulate the economy so much that these dual income married couples would feel a little more free to be able to have the children that are leaving the legacy that you're saying is so important?
Kermit, if you heard anything that I said, these dinks don't stink, okay? I'm gonna raise these dinks out of the hole that they feel that they're in. But again, even if they don't, okay, even if the filthy wolves in Congress don't approve, and they've done this, they have not approved what they need to approve for the American people. They are wolves, I tell you, they are wolves. But even if not, the dinks should consider becoming dinks no more. They should become clips. Okay, kid-loving parents, and we want to create that type of world for them.
Man,
by putting parks near nudist beaches, apparently.
And that way we get rid of the nudist beaches. You know what? That just seems like a more wholesome environment. Definitely.
Well, I mean, you'd be way less afraid to have kids if you didn't have naked gay people running around.
It does seem like that might go hand in hand, because I don't know if gay people can even produce the children to play on the playground.
Kermit, I understand that you reproduce very differently than I do, but you are absolutely correct. I mean, you can't fit a square peg in a round hole, if you know what I mean. And that is exactly the case with the LGBT community. They have to literally steal children away.
I don't think you probably shouldn't make that particular accusation. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's true. The other people are breeders for the LGBTQ community. They're body snatchers. Kermit.
There's so many questions, but
It's
this
as
is
if it's as if a pig came and she stole the eggs and raised the tadpoles herself. It's exactly the same thing. She can't make the tadpoles, Kermit.
Do you have a problem with that, Mr. President? Do you want to tell me something right now?
I'm just saying it seems a bit
You know what?
unnatural.
I'm going to move on to the next question. It's a pretty good transition.
Kermit, do you want your own beach, Kermit?
You know what? Speaking of safe spaces, I don't know if you're aware, but recently there was a
Kermit, I don't like the way you're grabbing my neck, Kermit.
Sorry, my hands are very moist. Are you aware, Mr. President, that there was recently made by one of the staffers in the White House a sex tape in the White House?
Kermit, I don't know what these people are doing. They have beaches for them to do these things, okay? They do not have to profane the nature, the stature, the glory that is the White House. This just goes to show that they never should have been elected. They need to vet these people. No cameras, okay? No cocaine, no cameras, all right? No fake sets. I've seen it all.
I was just hoping you could weigh in. Would you make the White House a safer place? Could you maybe make it great again, sir?
Well, Kermit, of course I could make it great again. And really, I mean, did you ever hear of any cocaine in the White House? Did you ever hear of any sex tapes in the White House when I was president?
Honestly, sir, I heard of none of that, really.
Exactly. That's because we were too busy bombing terrorists, okay? We didn't have time to strip ourselves bare and record ourselves doing all sorts of heinous acts. We were working for the people, and that's really what that's all that it's about. It's always about the people. And sure, some of the people liked the tapes, but most people didn't. Most people that I talked to, they did not like the tapes. And so, no, we're not going to make any tapes. We're going to make the Oval Office, the executive branch great again. We're going to clean everything out. Going to do a whole gut cleanse, okay?
I recommend a lot of bleach, sir. A lot of bleach.
I would not recommend using bleach for a gut cleanse. There was this one time where I may have accidentally misspoke and said that we should put chlorine in our bodies, but I did not actually mean that. Unfortunately, that old couple, that Democrat couple actually did that. That was very sad.
Well, Democrats will do anything to be in the news, sir.
Sometimes you just hate your husband and you give him chlorine. I don't know. I don't know what they were doing.
Well, she thought you were right with the Lysol cleanse, but well, she learned a lesson that day.
I mean, it's really difficult to accurately capture everyone's genetic predisposition when you're giving medical advice. I really should have put a disclaimer on there.
Well, you and Fauci probably both could have put a lot of disclaimers out there because a lot of misinformation going out. But I'm sure you can probably reel that in, Mr. President, next time. The old misinformation on viruses and shutting down governments and such, maybe.
Kermit, when I say this with complete and utter honesty and transparency. I have no clue what you are talking about.
Mr. President, you shut down the country because some small, tiny, old, frail man thought he knew things. I mean, that's what happened. Okay, the guy didn't know anything. He was telling us all sorts of bull.
Kermit, welcome to politics, okay? That is, every administration has their faults, and they almost always start with a elderly white gentleman, and that's just the way that it is. But that's not to say anything about me or any of my colleagues or my cabinet. But Fauci was certainly in the wrong place at the wrong time, and he did those things to the dogs, and, he will die like a dog, like Al Baghdadi.
Oh, man, sir. This is great news.
In Minecraft, Kermit, in Minecraft.
Oh, thank heaven, sir. I just meant it's a great news story, but I could see where someone might take that the wrong way and think that we were wishing ill on Dr. Fauci.
Well, people disappear, and we don't want anybody.
Please, I am
disappearing.
not. I just want everyone to know I love my wife. I am not suicidal, And Piggy, I am coming home to you, hopefully soon. Mr. President, in one last, maybe a little cultural hit piece here, I don't know if you're aware of this, but on TikTok there is a test that people like to say.
I am not on TikTok. It is a Chinese company. Did you know that, Kermit? Do you know anything of outside of the pond?
Yeah, yes, Mr. President, I'm aware that ByteDance is the majority shareholder of TikTok and that it is a front for the Chinese Communist Party stealing the information of American citizens, and it should be banned holistically. I am fully aware.
I'm very glad that you keep up on these things, Kermit. What were you going to say?
Well, there is a test that some trans TikTokers have been communicating. It's been a thing inside of their community apparently for a while.
Is there another kind of TikToker?
No. Oh, that's a good point. I see what you did, Mr. President. That was pretty clever. But no, it's called the button test. Have you ever heard of this?
This sounds very inappropriate,
Well,
Kermit.
no.
I don't imbibe in...
Oh, no, sir. Not like that. It's actually what most people would just call an icebreaker, but apparently they've branded it themselves. It goes like this, sir. Let's say you had a button, and that button...
I've been in control of many buttons.
No,
Nuclear codes, the garage door.
Yes, and your button is much bigger than the North Korean dictators. I'm well aware. Yeah, can we... All right, we're gonna reset this, Mr. President. Here, just follow me here for a second. Okay.
I'm going to push the reset button onto this,
Yep,
Kermit.
that's right. That's a button we're gonna press. That was a great joke, Mr. President. No. This button, if you press it, you will change to the other gender completely. Everyone will see you solely as the other gender. And the question is, would you press the button? You only get one shot at this. After this, the button goes away, and there'll be no more button for you. So, the question I'm asking you, Mr. President, you'll have a shot here at being the first female president. Would you press the button, sir?
Well, Kermit, is it also a time-traveling button as well, or...
I mean, when it's used as an icebreaker, you can make the button do whatever you want, but apparently the trans community believes that it's just their test to see if you want to be trans.
Oh, I understand. Because
Basically,
because
they say
it's on
if,
TikTok. I get it.
No. It's like if someone's questioning, they say, here, play this little mental game. If there was a button that could change you to the other gender, would you press it?
It sounds like they're coaching people into sexual deviancy, but if there was a button, and say it could transport you throughout time as well. Say it could do both things. Okay. I would push the button, but I would specify to go back to the 1976 Olympic year. And I would push the button just to beat Bruce Jenner in the decathlon, and then I would be the first woman to win the decathlon in the Olympics. And I'm going to stop you right there, Mr. President. If I was going to push the button, I would rewrite history, okay? That's what I would do.
But, Mr. President, according to Wikipedia, Caitlyn Jenner is already the first female to win the decathlon.
That's why it's a time... Kermit, it's a time travel trans button.
I'm very confused.
Go back in time. I would want to go back in time to be a woman, to enter into the 76 Olympics, to beat Bruce Jenner, Caitlyn Jenner, and be the first woman to win.
Let me ask you this, Mr. President. If you had a button that you could press that would take you back to the beginning of your 4-year term when you had control of the House and the Senate, do you think maybe you could press that button and then actually write some laws that could do some good, Mr. President?
Well, Kermit, if the button could also get the media off my back and get this dossier, this completely fake dossier, also out of existence, absolutely. Kermit,
you had both
I feel like
branches
there's a sense of hostility.
You had both branches. You
going on here.
You didn't even finish the wall.
You know what, Kermit? I have a question for you.
I got people hopping the fence over there.
If there was a
down
button,
in the Rio Grande.
If there was a button that turned you into a pig, would you press it?
Oh my gosh, Scooter, this is why you have to vet these people. No, Piggy, I don't care. He's ridiculous. I'm out of here. I'm done.
Well, Kermit has hopped off. I don't normally end these myself. Normally my secretary does, but I just wanted to wish you all a Happy New Year and a Merry Christmas. And I will see you at the polls in November. And it will be a very exciting time. Make sure you only vote once. Make sure you're alive. And make sure you show up. And God bless America. Lord knows we will make it great again.